O Lord, open our lips, and we will proclaim your praise. We read this morning from 1 Kings chapter 1 through to 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 12. And we read of the end of David's life. And his sons are jostling for position. Adonijah has called a feast and has invited all the great men of the city, and some people threw their lot in with him. For example, one of them was Joab. Joab went along to this feast, and it was clearly part of making Adonijah king. But God's anointed was Solomon, and David had promised Bathsheba, his mother, Solomon's mother, that Solomon would in fact be king after him. And so the conspiracy gathered strength. Adonijah had invited everyone together, all of the great people, and some of David's most loyal people had been invited to this. And he prepared this great feast where they were acknowledging him as the head of the feast and as the potential successor. But Bathsheba and Nathan went to David, explained what was happening, and David publicly proclaimed Solomon as king, and got the people cheering and exalting Solomon as king. Therefore, any attack against him would have been seen as an attack against David and his legacy. And in this way, David established Solomon as king. Notice Solomon didn't join in the conspiracies. And if God has anointed you to a position, you don't need to be in conspiracies, working behind the scenes, doing all the political maneuvers in order to get the office in the church that God has ordained for you. Allow others to work on your behalf, and allow the Spirit of God to work on your behalf, and allow the King to appoint you. And so this is what happened, and Solomon became king. And David charged him to deal with some of the outstanding issues that David had left behind. And we've talked a lot about Joab, how Joab committed sins, murders, and David hadn't dealt with them because he owed a loyalty to Joab. Joab had saved him on more than one occasion. But what David said, now you're king, you don't owe those same loyalties to Joab. Joab can be punished for the things he's done. We may think that earthly relationships can protect us from justice, but ultimately those earthly relationships end because life on earth ends and God will judge. And so Joab faced his judgments. So just wrapping up David's reign there, and we'll move on to the reign of Solomon in our future readings. Amen.